So, welcome to our session. So, today's session was on drug addiction. So, this inspiration basically came from the fact that today is also Anti Trafficking Day and also Anti Drug Day. So, that's why we thought we will do this session. It also seems to be a problem that some of us may have in our families or in our friends, and we just thought we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay. So, drug addiction is something that can be addictions to medicines. So, a lot of people are also sometimes addicted to medicine. You may know people who um, don't really seem to want to get well. Have you seen that? Like, especially if you're a healer and you're healing somebody, you find that they just don't want to stop taking medicine. That's one. The others are people who, for example, we know that in the Northeast, we have heard and we've been told that, children use a lot of medicines as drugs. And of course, there is the other line of drugs, which is, going into cannabis or weed or any other kind of hard drug. So, one of the things that I wanted to share with you is a picture that is from the book Practical Psychic Self Defense for Home and Office by Master Choa. This, as you can see, is a picture, as it says here, elementals or energy parasites, drug addicts, elementals. So what does this mean? You may know people who may have said that they want to give it up, but they're not able to. It's like it's uncontrollable. I don't know what to do. So in case you have people like that, like who are telling you things like this, you need to be aware that these energies, this is the type of energy that we are talking about. Now, these types of energies are actually there in their system. And that is kind of why they are not able to overcome it. Of course, in his book, Master also says that these elementals can be overcome by will, which basically means that if the person very strongly decides that they want to do it, then it can be done. But sometimes they need help. And of course, we have pranic healing for that. You can learn pranic healing, you can learn pranic psychotherapy, and you can heal people who have this problem. Okay. Now, I guess the important thing to convey is that, when people tell us that they're having a hard time with giving it up, or that um, that they want to give it up, but they're not able to give it up, then we need to be sensitive to that. Now, one of the other things that I have researched and found is that for a lot of people who we have healed of these ailments, we have found that they are socially not well connected with their families and their friends. So, one thing that I would like to say for children, parents of young children, is that when they tell you about something that they did, which is not something that you approve of exactly, then try to be gentle and just listen to it and perhaps ask them questions about it rather than just be like, that is wrong. You will never do this again. Okay. This is this kind of stuff doesn't really work with the kind of children that are being born in these times. And we just need to be a little bit more sensitive to what they're going to, how they're going to respond. So, when a child is very young, they come home from school and they show you what they did and who they talked to and blah, 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 blah. And the chatter, 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 chatter goes on. And, usually the parent will say, can you be quiet for a few minutes? Now, that's okay, but take the time either during meal times or at some point listen to the child. Because otherwise, what can happen is that if we as parents don't listen to the children, then they will find somebody else who is going to listen to them. And that is when sometimes the influence begins to, become a little negative. So it doesn't mean that all their friends are bad. It just means that that entire group of kids is probably having a problem of some sort. Okay. So we need to be sensitive and we need to help them solve these problems. So the other things that we can do is we can do something called cord cutting, which is again something that is taught in pranic psychotherapy and in pranic psychic self-defense, which is that you kind of break the energy link between the person and the substance, or the person and the group that he is or she is engaged with. And when you cut those connections, then it just makes it easier for them to give up these activities. So you can also look at encouraging them to find new friends. Of course, if the child is already, if the person is already a teenager or an adult, then it is a little difficult to do that. because they really don't want our advice. So try from an earlier age, especially again, this is for parents of young children. Try again from an earlier age to help your children to have a good social setup, which basically means if you're going to your friend's place, take them along. Let them know that you also have friends and that there is that social circle as well. When there are weddings in the family or when there are parties, take your children along, because then they feel connected with what I will call the social fabric. It's like interconnected, and so then they don't feel as lonely. A lot of kids that we work with also are, tend to confide in their grandparents or their masa masi or their chacha chachi, which is basically uncles and aunts. So that is also something to keep in mind. In case your child is confiding in somebody like that, like the grandparent or the uncle or aunt, keep in mind to keep that trust, which means that in case that person does tell you that, this person, this child is, doing this, just try and not confront the child with it. Okay, try to make yourself more loving, bless your child, and again, twin hearts, blessing after twin hearts is very helpful. Now, in case you're an adult who is having this problem and you would like some relief, of course, there's pranic healing, but this is something that we've been promoting a little bit, which is vibrational medicine. This is So Master Choa says in his book, which is called The Existence of God is Self-Evident, he says the process of the union between science and spirituality is already in progress. This can be seen in the field of quantum physics, merging with mysticism, homeopathy, acupuncture, feng shui, qigong, and vibrational medicine, and others. Okay, so what is the number? In case you have a requirement, you can just write down the number. Oops, seems the number didn't make it onto the presentation. One second, sorry about that. Yeah, it's 1414551. This is mainly for smoking. 1414551. 1414551. Okay. So that's it. And again, of course, you can take pranic healing for it. It's very effective. If you have done pranic psychotherapy, then you can yourself do 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 this. Okay. So yes, and you can also cut their cords with the substance. So if it's alcohol or drugs or cigarettes, you can visualize that, and then you know what to do. I can't talk about that more here because that is our content of the Pranic Psychotherapy Workshop. And just be aware that this is a beautiful technique. Pranic healing has, I mean, we at least with GMCKS Energy Transformers, we offer three things, right? There's meditation, which you can do with them, for them. So one more thing that I can recommend today is that when you're doing the meditation, just be aware of Master Choa Sui on one side and be aware of this person who you wish to heal of drugs on the other side. Okay, so it's kind of like forming a triangle. There's you, there's master, and there's this person. Okay, and when you're doing the meditation, just be aware of the presence of this person as well as of Master Choa. So what that will do is basically it'll allow the energy to kind of flow through them. It's like helping them meditate. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do. Second, of course, is that you can learn pranic healing and you can do it for your family members. And the third thing is that you can take pranic healing professionally from one of us. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share today. And if you have any questions, you can just put it on the group and we will try to solve. We will try to give some solutions. Okay. Now, one last thing again before we end is going back to this picture. Just be aware that these are things. These are called elementals. So elementals are basically, as Master says, they are naturally occurring beings in the world. Okay, in the inner world. So what that means is when we are aware of this is the physical world. We are aware of the physical body and things. There is also the inner world or the energy world. So just like there are cockroaches and spiders and things like that in the physical world, like in the world around us, there are also these beings which are there in the energy world. And when the person is weak emotionally or is very stressed or is very angry, That is when there is an opening. Just like if your house is not properly cleaned and if the house is not properly secure at certain times of the day, then the mosquitoes will come in, right? So similarly, you have to be aware that this person's system, the aura, the chakras are probably have issues with them, and that's what we're going to repair. And when we repair that in pranic healing, then the person begins to recover. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. And with that, we will start the mass healing. If you have somebody who you want healed, you can text us privately. And those of us who are joining the session later, you just need to join us live for the meditation and the mass healing, because we are not permitted to broadcast the meditation. Okay, let's raise our hands in blessing position. Let's be aware that today is World Anti-Drug Day or International Anti-Drug Day. Let's bless all the people affected by drugs, by trafficking. Let's be aware of our crown. Let's be aware of our heart. And let's project energy, good energy, to all these people who may be involved in these trades or who may be victims of these trades. Let's bless all the operators with divine guidance, with divine love. Let's bless all the victims with the ability to forgive, with the ability to break free. Inhale and exhale slowly. Let's also be aware of all the people affected by the COVID-19 virus. Let's bless them with rapid recovery. All the families, children, parents, elderly, siblings, everybody. Let's also be aware of now that we have blessed other people, now we are entitled to receive. Let's bless our financial targets. Let's be aware of the financial target. Let's see it very, very clearly. If it's a certain amount of money you want in your bank account, visualize that money in your bank account. If it's a certain asset, visualize that asset carefully and bless it. Let's be aware of health. Whatever is our health target, let's bless our health target with divine healing, with divine love. May the Lord God bestow his mercy upon us. Let's be aware of our relationship targets. Sometimes our health is affected by relationships, so let's be aware of that. Let's be aware of the words that we use for ourselves and for others. Let's minimize any verbal or mental criticism. Inhale and exhale slowly. Feel the energy flowing from the crown, coming into the crown and flowing out of our hands. Be aware of the heart. Bless everyone with loving, compassionate energy. Let's be aware of our spiritual targets. Let's bless our spiritual targets and the spiritual targets of others. Let's bless our home. May there be beautiful energy, prosperity, friendly conversations, and harmony in our home. Let's zoom out and bless our city, our state, our country, the planet. Let's zoom back in. Let's bless our country, our state, our workplace, our city. Bless everyone associated with our workplace, our clients, our employees, our co-workers. Let's take a few seconds to bless our projects. Once you're done, open your eyes. How do you feel? So usually after blessing, it's like I feel happy. So, it's like I've blessed so many people, and by the law of karma, I hope to receive back. Okay. So let's massage our face. I've been doing healing, so I'm not going to massage my face, but you can massage your face, your scalp, your neck, your throat, your arms, your legs, your chest, your spleen and liver in the front, your kidneys at the back. Massage the hips, the thighs, the knees, and the lower legs. So that's it for today's session on addictions. So, like I said, you can do three things. You can meditate with us, you can learn pranic healing, you can take pranic healing. And of course, there are other methods, which is being nice and kind to all the people who may be suffering because they are actually affected. And there are these things that are kind of in their aura and which need to be removed. Okay. So, with that, we end today's session. Thank you so much. See you soon.